Yo, what's going on, y'all? What's going on? Welcome back to another episode of the Audible Podcast. I am your host. I wasn't sure there. I'm your host, the Wody man, the non-nasty man, the indisputable heavyweight champion of corn on the cob right now. Yo, I had some real delicious corn on the cob with some nice, perfect butter. I think it was some of that German butter, D man. I don't know what episode this is. What's up, y'all? What's going on? Welcome back to another episode. I'm glad to be here. Y'all glad to be here. We got a couple things we need to discuss. For that corn on the cob was real good too. Yeah, like some course of pepper. I really like black pepper. Had a little damn, I don't know, it's like sweet, spicy, was salty, was everything. We got a lot to talk about today. That corn was real good. I ain't gonna lie to you. I wanna see if we can get to all the topics, but I want to discuss some UFC action. We had some good action over the weekend, and we got some good action coming up this weekend. I want to talk a little bit about the rapidy rap. Um, Maybe we'll get to the rap. The rap is questionable. Oh my god! I just kind of want to talk about some new orders I've been kind of figuring out, and I now have a new hierarchy, a new placement for top five Louisiana rappers. No, Boosie is not in it. He's not even in my top 25. This is an indisputable fact. I've written about this. I'm also a journalist, but I wrote about this a very long time ago. How Boosie is not a top 25 Louisiana rapper. And I got the proof behind it. I saw. Uh, I thought this is just nigga issue. Apparently, everybody is falling for it. The whites, Mexicans, everyone is just in love. I don't, y'all. I just it's just a pure random thing for me to just go into that. I'm talking about Madden. Uh, Madden 23 is coming out. They're hitting us with the fake nostalgia. We're putting the late great John Madden on the cover. Um, but it's looking like the same game, yo. I'm gonna keep it real. It's probably the same game. I knew I've seen a lot of people was happy about Madden 22, and this another topic we may get into. A lot of people's happy about Madden 22, because of the when you get to certain field, you get that RPG aspect, you get a home field advantage. That shit was trash. Um, and it hasn't been spoken on or mentioned since Mad 22 came out. So again, whatever they're gonna offer Mad 23, I know a lot of people say it's gonna look good, it's gonna look this and look that. The Madden engine, whatever Madden engine they are actually using, whatever tackling engine that they've been using is the cheapest engine you can possibly get for a most expensive game. That majority, the cat, because it's a casual game purchase, it gets huge sales and they use bullshit engines. So we're gonna try to get into some Madden too. I don't know if we're gonna get in Madden because it is angering me. Um, just kind of thinking about it. Of course, I've been in a little bit of a video game lull too. I have no idea what to play. Therefore, I just been playing random and oh shit. We might get a little bit into that too. The CDC, uh, kind of obviously being. It's always been a government entity, but it's a pretty obvious um paid off government entity. It means nothing. And yeah, and the last subject we may discuss a little NFL, discuss the nasty man, discuss some of the absolutely disgusting penalties or lack thereof of NFL or NBA players, athletes in general. We're gonna get into a little bit of that, and actually with this kind of ASAP Rocky thing that's just dropping, it's gonna be a kind of a perfect deal too. So the first thing I want to get into, I hope y'all didn't hear the small line go off for the back. The first thing I want to get into is the last UFC. I think it was just a fight night. It was Vera against Dominic Cruz, Maga Cruz, cigarette smelling Cruz, whiskey man Cruz. Um, Fantastic performance by both. So first of all, I want to give up to Cruz because Dominic Cruz is probably like a 37. And I believe this is the first. Um, Now that I think I just heard something. I think this is the first non-title loss he's had in the UFC, or at least it's been a very long time since he had a non-title loss in a UFC. Dom is either the champion or he either lost the belt, which was just the one time when he lost to Cody Garbrandt. So he's been a champion at 135 for a long time. He's also been injured for a while in between that. But it just goes to show what type of champion he was, what type of fighter he is. Um, Getting them all in Vera. So I really just want to talk about the main event. I can't even remember what the whole call was, but let's get to the whole call. Woo, let's get to the whole card. I say UFC Fight Night, and fucking Tyrone Woodley comes out. What? It's ESPN 41. Okay, UFC ESPN Quattrono. Uh, I'm trying to find a card. I'm sorry. I'm trying to find the actual card. Should have been prepared. Yeah, but I wasn't. This is the card, but it's kind of not the card. Oh, this was the card. The card just wasn't that great. Okay, so talking about Marlon Vera, right? So Marlon Vera is on he's on a 4 fight win streak. He's won 5 out of the last 6. The only loss he's had was against Jose Aldo, which is a very close fight, and that's kind of Jose Aldo, which is also gives Jose Aldo a good case if he wins his next fight, which I believe is against who is Jose Aldo fighting? He's fighting somebody. I don't know who he's beating or who he's fighting. I know he has a fight coming up. Um, I think Jose Aldo should have kind of been gotten a title shot. Um, More of out of respect, really. But seeing him with a win over Marlon Vera really does mean a lot. Let me see Jose Aldo's record real quick. My bad. Jose Aldo's won 3 in a row, y'all. He's fighting Marab. I forgot. Oh my God, we're gonna be talking about that. Um, wow. Wow, and Marlon Vera was like he don't really care about getting a title shot. So I think if Jose Aldo can win this, or either Maram can win this, then they should be fighting Marlon Vera. Marab especially. Yeah, whoever this win this should be fighting Marlon Vera. Or the next fight should be a number one contenders fight, bar none. Um, but going back to Marlon Vera. So Marlon Vera looks like first of all, it looks like he hits very hard. Um, the punches look dense. When he hits, it means something. You could tell by Frankie Eggers, not Frankie Eggers, Rob Font's face. You could tell by Dominic Cruz maybe get knocked down like 3, 4 times, a couple times from just like jabs. Um, and I saw a couple comments saying that Dominic Cruz was chinny. I'm not sure how you can get Dominic Cruz chinny. I didn't hear the comments from the commentators um after the fight, but to call Dominic Cruz chinny when he hasn't lost, it's like he getting knocked out. He hasn't even lost. Like he's in winning fights. So I'm not sure how you get um chinny out of everything. I know he was stopped by Aaron Cejudo, but that was like TKO and it was knees. Um so yeah, I don't know where the chinny thing comes from. I don't even know what you would even call him washed up because he's like whoever loses out of Jose Aldo and Marab. Like Jose Aldo, man, Jose Aldo's been in tremendous shape. Like Jose Aldo hasn't looked washed. Obviously, he beat Marlon Vera. He's won in the last 3. But if he can beat Marab, like Marab is a master grappler. Actually, let's see those odds real quick, y'all. Now, I'm supposed to be talking about the main event from last weekend, but I kind of want to talk about these odds too. It's even. Wow. So it's either minus 122 for Marab or it's even. That's what I figured. Um, okay. So Marab versus Jose Aldo is your classic wrestler versus striker matchup, right? Marab is about as good as a wrestler as anybody in the division. Yes, he's the best wrestler in the division. Um, Jose Aldo, and I would say probably Peter Yan, a couple other guys. It's not a lot of wrestlers to be testing a lot of these guys, but Jose Aldo is historically tested for being hard to take down. Like I don't even remember anybody even taking him down ever, and like holding him there and just pounding on him like hold on, let's look at Jose Aldo real quick. We're gonna be 2 hours um doing this shit. So let's all right. So at 145. That's when after he started to move up. He lost to Marlon Rice is a big motherfucker. That's a split decision. Okay. So he lost to Volkanovski, and then he lost to Marlon Moraes. He lost to Peter Yan, and those are tough fights, right? All three of those fights are tough fights. And this is like Marlon Moraes in that kind of area when he had just knocked out um Aljo, who's now the champion. So, things can happen, right? So he beats Marlon Vera, he beats Pedro Munoz, he beats Ralph Font, and I'm talking about Jose Aldo here. Well, have all been stand-up fighters. Peter Yan, Marlon Moraes, Volkanovski, I don't remember him taking it down. Hanato Canero, yeah, fucking I thought they said Hanato Moncayo. Um Jeremy Stevens, two Max Holloway fights. Like he lost those, but these are all stand-up fighters. So it's been a long time since he's had a lot of takedown defense, had to do it, but every time he's had to, he was like perfect. Um, Damn, I want to talk about the main event. Hold up. Shit, this is a tough fight. This is a really good fight, man. Jose Aldo against Marab is a really good and tough fight. Wow. John Dodson, Cody Stamen, Marlon Moraes. All right, he hasn't fought. This is his first step. So for Marab, this is the first step for him into kind of elite territory. Basically. Sheesh. All right, so let's go back. Let's go back. Let's go back to Marlon Vera. Let's go back to the Dominator, right? So I believe the loser, which is Dominic Cruz, whoever loses out of Marab and Jose Aldo, let's say if it's Jose Aldo, you get Jose Aldo and Dominic Cruz, which is a fantastic fight. Marlon Vera right now, I think should be. I think Aljo's fighting Dillashaw. That fight is not really close to happening right now. That's the bad thing. Like if that fight was like within a month, I think the next title shot should absolutely go to Marlon Vera. Because not only is he just on a win streak, he's stopping guys. And going back to him too, he has a TK win over Sean O'Malley. Don't care how it was. To front kick Frankie Edgar to get him out of there. To beat the hell out of Rafon. He beat the shit out of Rafon. And to stop Dominic Cruz. To me, Dominic, bro, just the Dominic Cruz and Frankie Edgar fight. Or just Dominic Cruz and Rob Font. To me, those performances get you a title fight. But it's too far away. I don't think Dillashaw and whatchamacallit are gonna fight for a while. Um, that's kind of the bad thing. So moving on, what I wanted to talk about is UFC 278. So 278 is coming on this weekend. Of course, we are gambling on it. That's one of the reasons why we here, why we on yonder. The main event. We're gonna start from the main event. The main event is Kamaru Usman against Leon Edwards, right? So it's minus 400. plus 280. This is a so when you think you know a sport, I think I know MMA. You have to bet it by value. You bet everything by value, but when you eyeballing it, you betting it by value. And plus 280, which is basically plus, it's basically like Usman's gonna beat this man. Minus 400 is it's pretty definite. I think that's fair. Now, I wouldn't bet minus 400 for Usman. If anything, if there is a will a fight go to distance, which is no, at plus 120, I would think that's the best bet. Actually, that is the best bet. I'm gonna bet that. Um plus 120. Will a fight go to distance? And no, I do because I don't think this fight go to this. And even if you say yes, it's minus 152, which is still good money. Like it's still good money either way. I think somebody's gonna stop in this. Um, even though most of Leonel was fights are all 5 rounders. And they last fight did go 5 rounds. I think somebody's gonna get stopped in this. So I would say no, it'll be plus 120 for what I would say. It's definitely gonna be a tough fight. I definitely think Kamaru Usman is going to win if I had to pick. But I can kind of see Leon that was pulling something off. I'm not gonna lie to you, he's really good. The main event, well, not main event. The co-main event is Paulo Costa and Luke Rocco, and on the odds I'm looking at is Bovada, by the way, because I am in a slave state and that has to use fucking Yugoslavian websites to bet. So Luke Rocco plus 250, Paulo Costa minus 325. I think that's fair. Um, I I probably would say Paulo Costa again. It's the kind of the same boat for me. Luke Rocco hasn't fought recently, and his last losses were bad. Whereas Leonel was his one fucking 8 in a row, but it's been a while since he fought. Um, I will go Paulo Costa, and I would actually parlay those two, so you can get decent odds. Let me see how I look real quick. Minus 325, minus 400. Yeah, to go down to minus 58, I think that's pretty good. Yeah, then we talk about Jose Aldo and Marab. The only thing I could say for that is that it goes the distance, which is minus 200. Like, cause I actually I don't know who's gonna win. This next fight, I know who's gonna win. Is Alexander Romanov versus Marcin Tibero. Romanov minus 450. You bet that nigga right there. You bet this motherfucker. I would actually bet for a stoppage. I'm not sure what the TKO is or fight to not go the distance, which is no minus 310. I would definitely bet that shit. So Alexander Romanov minus 450. If you parlay that with Costa and Usman, that's minus 100. It's pretty good odds. Tyson Pedro versus Harry Hunsucker. I don't get those odds. Like I know who Tyson Pedro is, but this nigga ain't that cold. This motherfucker ain't that cold, man. To be minus 740. Hold up, y'all. We gotta look him up real quick. We gotta look up his fights. I have to give y'all a good analysis of this motherfucker because if somebody hit me up, I gotta want to do this on video. How do I do this on video? I can show the screen and shit. Let's see. Let's go Tyson Pedro. We're gonna look him up on SureDog. I told you SureDog is a website I usually go to because I look at strength of schedule. Okay. So his last fight was against he beat Isaac Villanueva in stoppage, leg kick punches. He lost by TKO. He lost by submission. He lost. Well, he lost by submission, and then he won by submission. And he lost by decision, and he won by TKO and submission. So he's ride or die. It's either he gonna get stopped or stop a motherfucker. And he's going against Harry Hunsucker. Fought Tai Tuivasa. He fought Jason Taffa. Jason Taffa is the big motherfucker, ain't he? Yeah. That was kind of a fluky little fight. Corey Moon. Okay, so I don't know Harry Hunsucker. Him losing to Tai Tuivasa in the first round. That's just is what it is. Tai Tuivasa's a beast. The Justin Taffa thing, I remember that fight. That's just a nigga getting knocked out. I do not believe that Tyson Pedro is a minus 850 to plus 525. So we gonna do the plus 525 because two niggas that have halfway terrible records. And the odds is minus 850. Nigga, minus 850 is Brock Lesnar versus Peyton Manning in real life. He'd be like, okay, Peyton Manning, if he could headbutt him, he could win. But realistically, he's about to get soaked in milk and then seasoned and put on a grill. Moving on, Jared Gordon versus Leonardo Santos. I have no idea what that is. Uh, that's prelims. We're not betting prelims. We're gonna look at it. Sean Woodson versus Luis Saldana. Miranda Maverick versus Shauna Young. We'll kind of look at these odds. Okay, so for the main event, the full fights: Alexander Romanov, Harry Hunsucker, um, Paulo Costa, Kamaru Usman. It is plus 1149. If I bet $25, I would win 287. Parlaying that with anything else, I kind of don't trust. Maybe I will put Sean Woodson and Miranda Maverick just to boost it up, but only boost it up to like 1800. Those are definite bets. So bet 25 will get me 461. That's probably what I'm gonna bet today. Cause so leave it a easy shot. So moving on. I saw a picture of well, it wasn't a picture, it was a video, but I saw the picture too at first. It was of Francis Ngannou. He was dapping up Deontay Wilder, right? So it got me thinking, right? So first of all, I do not care about Francis Ngannou and Tyson Fury because it's just uninteresting in general, right? As a boxing match and as a kickboxing match, because as a kickboxing match, Tyson Fury is going to get the legs chopped off of him, and I haven't seen Francis Ngannou kick many times, but if you've never taken a leg kick before, or you're not used to taking them in your life at all, and the first ones you're about to take is from Francis Ngannou, I don't think that's a very good idea. Um, yeah, I don't think that's you know what I mean. Like, I don't think that's the best thing. And for pure boxing, we're basically just going to get a worse version of Fury versus Wilder because at least Wilder is an experienced boxer. He's not a traditional boxer, but he's experienced. He won a bronze medal um in the Olympics in boxing. Like his first year is boxing, like his first 1 or 2 years. He won a bronze medal for the United States. Like people us here we kind of shun or ignore anything that's not a gold medal. Nigga, if I get silver, nigga, I'm the second best person in the world. That's kind of like a pretty big deal. If I'm number two in the world, like the person could have first could have beat me because of like technical points or like by a quarter of an inch. You know what I mean? I'm second, but you know, and I always think about why, like the Olympics here, always get great ratings, but outside of that, we don't watch it at all. Like I'm not sure where to find shot put. I would probably watch shot putting. Like on a Saturday, if they did like an event where they're shot putting and throwing a javelin and doing like some hammer throws, I would probably watch that shit. Maybe they would have to, I don't know, you would motherfucker just throwing stuff will get tired after a while. I'm keep it real. I'm thinking of it now, and niggas just tossing stuff would be tired. Like maybe they could do some cross country, some steeples chases, in between that to kind of balance it off. But we don't really watch like as a country. They don't get football numbers. They don't get basketball numbers. Or maybe they do. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't. I know people watch track and field. Um, I know I'm a lot more accustomed to casually watch track and field than I am really anything else. But it feels like archery, um, shit. All these Olympic sports. We don't really watch them motherfuckers. And I think there's a lot of again lull time because them bitches be going on a Wednesday at 3 o'clock. Ain't nobody doing that. Just put that on the TV. Is on ESPN. I ain't, I guess ESPN would rather be showing um fucking Big Baby Davis versus Kendrick Perkins in a hot dog eating contest, but in a dribbling hot dog glizzy eating contest. Maybe they would want to show that, but I think a lot of the Olympic sports can get a lot of shine. But going back to Wilder, going back to Ngannou, I think that is probably one of the best fights that you can get because in boxing, UFC, I wouldn't want to see it because somebody's gonna die in UFC. And I actually think, Francis Ngannou to me, the UFC heavyweight champion is the baddest man on the planet, right? It, it's a fact, right? See, because Francis Ngannou can wrestle, even if he's not an expert wrestler, he not a wrestle better than motherfucking Tyson Fury. Dude. He's gonna take Tyson Fury down. He's gonna beat the shit out of him. The nigga hits hard. He don't have expert submissions, but if Francis Ngannou want to put you in a Kimura, you a snow crab. He gonna take that motherfucker off. Um, but Deontay Wilder, right, who is usually in the last Fury fight, he say like he weighed too much. It was the first one. I mean, the nigga say he weighed too much. Niggas making excuses. He's using like 220 pounds, 228 pounds, I believe he said. Francis Ngannou has to cut down from 265. Let me repeat that, right. Deontay Wilder is about he usually fights like 225 pounds. If you look at every fight he's ever had, the nigga has like 41 fights with 38 knockouts. Like people talk about his non-traditional fighting skills because he's not sitting there boxing, he's knocking niggas' heads off. He has like 38 knockouts or 37 knockouts in like 41 fights. Okay, so if you either won, it was a draw, or you died. That's pretty much how it goes. Like, and those goes like one nigga. Tyson Fury either had a draw with him and he won. Everybody else died. You know what I mean? Like, so I would, and for Francis Ngannou to cut down to 265, so that means he's probably walking around like 280, 290. Deontay Wilder, when they box, obviously people see the size, the difference in the gloves. He's probably wearing 16, and that's probably too high. He's probably wearing 12, 13, 14-ounce gloves. The big pillowy motherfuckers, almost pillowy. Francis Ngannou is wearing 4-ounce gloves. 4-ounce gloves versus the ones the Wilder's wearing is A patch is a small shield of mucus saliva. It is just thick enough for you to not move in one swipe, but it's just thin enough to where it don't mean shit. And Deontay Wilder is knocking people out dead, cold, with big ass gloves on. So I would pray, pray that nobody ever, I don't even care if it's Francis Ngannou, because it's not like Francis Ngannou is a motherfucking expert boxer. I believe that only one person in the entire boxing, in all of heavyweight boxing, only cares is this cruiserweight nigga who just beat Anthony Joshua. He's not Russian. He's from someone in one of these places. Usyk. If he gets touched by Deontay, that dude can't beat Deontay Wilder. I'm sorry. He'll never fight down. That dude cannot beat Deontay Wilder. The only person that can survive Deontay Wilder was Tyson Fury, and that's because he is the generational fighter. Like a lot of people know boxing. I don't even know boxing like that, but I know who the fucking legends is. And some casual who maybe not knowing the boxing, Tyson Fury was going for a while. This nigga, he ain't no six pack. He don't look like Tyson coming out of jail, but he's big as shit. He is the generational heavyweight. If y'all don't know, he's the Lennox Lewis. He's the Mike Tyson. He's the Muhammad Ali. He's the Joe Frazier. This nigga Tyson for this 6'10" big ass nigga. So if Deontay Wilder loses to him twice, that ain't a slight. That's the generational dude. Do I believe if they fought 10 times, Wilder beats this nigga like 3 or 4? Absolutely. Do I think the first knockout count was very long? Absolutely. Which brings me to the conclusion that he can beat this man. So if he can beat him, he can definitely beat Joshua. He can definitely beat Usyk. So I say that to say that why are we not seeing, like, I know that video just came up. They was real cool. Deontay Wilder was like, he was humble. He was kind of like fake humble, but he was kind of like he kind of felt like, oh, it's a champ, yo, he come and holler at me, but he ain't really chatted up. You know what I mean? It was like a, all right, yo, what's up, man? But I'm about to get back to work type of thing. You know what I mean? Why can't we get that fight? Is that a fight we want to see? I'm pretty sure that's a fight we want to see. Like, if you look, I'm trying to think of Wilder's knockouts, dog, because they're all brutal. He beat. If you look at what's the Haitian dude? Man, let me look at Wilder's fights, man. I swear I wasn't gonna talk about fighting all day, but we're gonna talk about some fighting. Uh, Wilder versus somebody. It's a dude he fought twice. The first time I believe either it was a draw or it's the only decision that he had. And then the second time he was fighting this nigga like it was Ninja Turtles. He was just running up, charging up punches like Streets of Rage. This nigga was just charging up fire punches and throwing them. Um, it wasn't Ortiz. It was Stiverne. Cause Stiverne was like his. It was a win, but it was his. Damn, what is it? It was a decision. What kind of fight was it? There we go. It was a unanimous decision. He still won. It was a unanimous decision, and he won the heavyweight title because Stiverne is the dude that won. He took the heavyweight title out of the United States. I believe somebody here had it, and he took it to England, whatever these London niggas from, these England niggas from. And Wilder got it back. And Wilder was like he was the first champion here for a while. Um, he was the first a heavyweight champion. He was the WBC heavyweight champion. So y'all don't know in box is a lot more confusing and it's a lot more corrupt. That's why the government had to step in and take care of boxing than the UFC. For the UFC, there's one belt, 170. That's Kamaru Usman. For boxing, there's like 5 belts. There's WBC, there's a fucking IBF, there's a WBO, there's everything. There's like 5 different belts, 5 different organizations that run all these belts. Deontay Wilder has a WBC belt, and Tyson Fury he had all the other belts. Does he still have them? He gave them up when he retired, right? He had the lineal championship. Yeah, WBC and the ring heavyweight titles. The ring heavyweight title is the lineal championship. That means he won all of them. So back in when he beat Vladimir Klitschko back in 15, he won the IBF, WBO, and the WBA and the IBO, right? So all of these championships were all in Russia. So when people didn't watch boxing here for a while, when we watched Floyd Mayweather's, we was watching all the kind of smaller fighters. That's because the Klitschko's had the heavyweight belt locked up in motherfucking Europe. So that's why when you see Tyson Fury fight and you see Anthony Joshua fight, they fight over there. They ain't got to come in and fight in Vegas. The smaller fighters that are not from that part, they come here and fight in Vegas or or other places, but they fill up 100,000 seat arenas out there. Like when Fury fight niggas, it's 100K out there. They fill up a whole arena, 100,000 niggas. So that's why we don't get the big heavyweight fights. But Wilder got one of those belts back, and yeah, and actually losing to Tyson Fury, because Tyson Fury, I think that's the belt he didn't have. He had all the other ones, and he was a lineal champion, which means he claimed all the belts. He was undisputed. It's like 4 or 5 belts. He won all them bitches, all 5 heavyweight belts. Not a lot of cats has done it. Lennox Lewis has done it. I think Tyson's done it. I think maybe Holyfield done it. I know Lennox Lewis for a fact done it. But it's a very prestigious thing to do. And you see a big goofy nigga like Tyson Fury, you really don't think like this, Guess big goofy ass nigga, but this just goofy motherfucker he's a generational um fighter. So going all the way back, I saw that video. I don't know what's next for Wilder. Uh, I I'm gonna pray on everybody's temple who has to fight Deontay Wilder next, because again, there's bruh, whoever has to fight this dude next, you you're gonna have to figure it out, because he's knocking your head off your shoulders. Like I wouldn't even want to fight him. Real shit. I wouldn't want to fight this nigga. If you a boxer, heavyweight boxer, like unless you at the tippy top, why would you fight this nigga? I understand he's like 220 pounds, 25 pounds. Most of these heavyweight boxers are a lot bigger, but um yeah, no bueno. So going back to this UFC thing, I was looking at Alexander Romanov again at minus 450. And I think just probably putting him and Usman together. For some reason, I don't trust Paulo Costa versus Rocco. I actually don't think fight is going to happen, even though it's this goddamn week. Let's see if you do Usman and Romanov minus 189. That's good. That's more than good enough. Okay, so moving on. I want to talk about just gambling in general, right? So every bit of positive gambling I've been having to do, it's been mostly UFC, right? So, as we've been talking UFC, I kind of know UFC in detail, even though I don't bet UFC as much as I should. Um, but it's where I make the most at. MLB seems to be the most confusing um gambling adventure ever, right? So it's a lot of different ways you can approach the MLB. So what I play typically is the DFS, the kind of the fantasy sports where you pick rosters and all that shit. We talked about this shit before. Oh, DraftKings and FanDuel. Basically, you pick a roster. You try to guess the best players, the best pitcher, whoever's projected the best kind of in the best situation. So, for instance, tonight, um, let's go to my FanDuel. I'm losing drastically, of course, because the team that I should have built upon, which is the Braves, is fucking up 13-1. They beating the shit out the Mets right now, and I have no Braves at all. So basically, you have to pick the best roster, right? So for one of these contests, the contest that won is it's Garrett Cole at pitcher, and basically a stack of Atlanta, Acuna, Acuna, Contreras. What happens is for the Cubs, but Swanson and Arno. Also, Evan Longoria is got a little bit in that too. I don't think I have any Evan Longoria. So the MLB just seems to be just fucking completely random and completely rotten. So officially, this is probably my last day doing MLB. Um, you know, in comparison, it's a lot of people that just don't know baseball. Baseball is so hard to explain, but I'm gonna kind of do some comparative. If you compare the pitches, I could have said this before. I compare the pitches like I do quarterbacks. Like some pitches is just a fucking beast. When Max Scherzer come up, when DeGrom comes up, when Otani got somebody hit a home run on him today, but when Otani comes up, when Dylan Cease comes up, when all of these what's the nigga from the Dodgers? Oh, they battle him and threaten him out there. Kershaw, when these cats show up, there's a certain pedigree. There's a certain things you expect for them to do. It's like having Mahomes come in. It's like having Brady come in. It's like having Aaron Rodgers come in. Any great quarterback. DeGrom and Scherzer, they're on those levels. So if you're betting on them, you're betting on them to win, and you're betting on them as the main person, as the driver to win the game. If you know what I mean, the pitcher. The way they do the odds for baseball is based off the fucking pitcher. If the pitcher's trash, the odds ain't in your favor, player. If the pitcher's cold, the odds is in your favor. So I I, I sometimes like to compare it to that, but it never ends up being that. For instance, like I say Garrett Cole in that winning lineup. He was in the winning lineup, but he had 37 points as a pitcher. He wasn't the highest rated pitcher. He didn't score the most points. So it kind of ended up on the whatever batters that they had in. This is on FanDuel. That's typically not the case. Um, it just seems as though baseball it's really just too random for me. Let me give y'all another example, right? So in basketball, it's a lot easier for to like project the points, right? So, and I say that because let's think of some high level players. Let's think of Mike Trout, is a high level home run hitter, and let's think of LeBron James, right? Just a high level basketball player. Mike Trout can finish the season. Let's say if he had the most home runs, he was a home run leader. He had 63. There will be a lot of games where Mike Trout will have 0 points because he went 0 for 4 or he went 0 for 3. Or maybe he had 3 points when he went 1 for 4 and he hit a single. Or he had 6 points, 8 points, or 12 points. Like there is a very small chance that he will consistently hit his number. That's why the projections and everything is very relied on a pitcher because the pitcher gets the number from strikeouts and high level pitchers successfully and consistently get strikeouts, and that's how you get points. But high level batters don't always get points. That's on the baseball side. On the basketball side, how many times LeBron didn't have 15 points? And I'm not talking fantasy points, nigga, just points in general. How many times LeBron ain't have at least 15 points and 4 rebounds? How many times he ain't have 15 points, 4 rebounds, and 4 assists? The the average projection points in basketball is just a lot more consistent than baseball, so it's a lot easier to judge. I really don't know, how to look at baseball. I only know a handful of people that kind of play um the daily fantasy sports in baseball, but I don't know anybody that bets baseball. I'm looking at it from a different point of view. I'm trying to maybe bet hot bats because every baseball team will have a streak of like maybe 3 to 5 or 6 games where they just hitting everything, where they getting a lot of runs. But it can not it can it'll always dramatically stop. Like the Dodgers, let me look for the Dodgers game real quick. The Dodgers over the last two previous games had 22 runs. Right now, it's just 4-0 against the Brewers. You know what I mean? Like they had 22 runs in the past two games. That's a lot of points. You get a lot of points for RBIs. But they only have four today. That's like saying LeBron, he averaged 7 points all year. The fuck? What the fuck going on? So I like some advice actually. I put this out there. Some advice for anybody that bets baseball consistently. I've been looking this up, Googling it. What do you look for when it comes to streaking teams, streaking bats? Um, because this is absolutely my last day. And the the only reason I'm frustrated with baseball is because I haven't lost any money. I break even every time. I've been breaking even for like 8 months. Like I am like $2 over, just two. So I absolutely can't. I don't know how to break the threshold. Like pitchers, I can absolutely try to figure out because a lot of this stuff has to do with ownership. I really want to get more people into the DraftKings daily fantasy just to help share more information and to kind of get people to just to open up a little bit because a lot of things is just about ownership. I've been picking, and that's how I've been breaking even when picking pitchers successfully because I can just pick by ownership. You can just kind of look at it and be like, okay, the ownership of how many people here, how many people there. That's how you break it down. But it's just real good difficult to see. I just went in the whole mode there, and if you don't even gamble, if you don't do daily fantasy sports, you don't know what the hell I'm talking about. But it's really getting to me that I'm continuously in baseball breaking even. So I want to move on to golf. So expect more damn goddamn golf. I want to talk more MMA, and we definitely gonna talk more golf as we go along. What I want to get into next? My goodness, I think I want to talk a little Madden because I mix Madden with the nasty man. With nasty man, somebody else got in trouble. With the NFL, I think that was old boy from the Titans. Maybe he beat some niggas ass in Walgreens. I'm not sure how you can beat people ass in Walgreens. And not even get suspended for your job. But moving on, we're gonna go to Madden, right? So I saw some previews for Madden. Um, I saw the trailer for Madden. Okay, so my honest negative thoughts. It's still Madden, right? So it's the same Madden. and I'm trying to see what the psychology behind everybody still, I wouldn't say falling for, but going for Madden. It is absolutely the same game since 2011-ish, 12-ish, 11 at least. Slightly upgraded graphics, slightly um upgraded kind of tackling, I would say grappling system. I'm not really sure what like engine or what system they'll be able to use to really get a better grip on the almost like glitchy tackling for Madden. Like the tackling has been so glitchy for really for like fucking 10 years. Like the tackling has been ass. Like I had Kirk Cousins and broke like 3 tackles. Nigga, Kirk Cousins running 47 yards. I deleted that shit after. Like, why is Kirk Cousins running 47 yards? I deleted that shit. I didn't even finish the game. Paused it and deleted it. Because Kirk Cousins running like fucking Natron means. Jerome Bettis. Um, is I'm asking a question I know the answer to. Is it just a ritual at this point to play Madden, to play Call of Duty, to play 2K? Is it because I want to find a way, I want to get away from this, right? I don't play these games, but it annoys me that that people buy them. And I don't know why it does, but it really is people just kind of just enjoying playing with their favorite players. And I get that. And because I used to always want to play with Barry Sanders. And in Madden 94, I always played with Walter Payton because Walter Payton and Barry Sanders is just my favorite players in general, still is. And I get that. But I also enjoyed the game too. And I remember when NFL Game Day came out, I played NFL Blitz. I remember NFL Extreme, these big swole ass motherfuckers. It was like 3 or 5 players. Um, I remember these games. And I didn't mind these games because at at least they were different. We haven't gotten anything different probably for like 13 years. Anywhere from 10 to 13. And when you think about that, like just that in a bubble by itself, that's pretty fucking wild. And I really don't know how we can get out this. I talk games with my cousins, and we just kind of waiting on the next thing. Like, and so I'm talking about the Lola, man. Like I re-downloaded Overwatch, and I just can't play it. But I need a competitive game to play because that's really the only reason I play games. That and RPGs is really the only type of games I like to play. Just competitive games, and RPGs my break from those competitive games. Otherwise, I will be breaking the controller. Um, but I've been in a lull, and it seems like everybody just say, "Okay, just wait for this, just wait for this, and wait for this." And I feel like we've been waiting for like 2, 3 years. The only worthy game has been Elden Ring. There hasn't been any other type game that's been worth the money. And Elden Ring was $60. So I'm trying to figure out where's the break? When do we get a break? When do we get a game? Why do we have to wait so long in between games? Why do you have to wait till God of War? on one system that you still can't fucking find. How do we get to this point? How do we get to this point is where the most sought after game, the most anticipated game is on a system that after 3 years, it is still not readily available in any retail store. And PlayStation still has record sales. How do we figure this out? How is this a thing? It's just this that big C word capitalism. Did it get this bad? To where a system that has not been on any shelves for more than an hour. It's one of the best selling consoles that this company has ever had, and it's still absolutely impossible to get. And I think this is year three. Somebody help me out there. And also somebody help me out on what other RPGs to play. You know what I mean? I've been streaming again. I streamed yesterday, streamed day before that, just trying to get some good players in, get some good viewers in. I bought in. I started playing Far Cry 5 again. I may go get Far Cry 6. I'll look it up because I saw some pretty bad reviews when it first came out. But mm, uh, am I just supposed to sit around and wait um on God of War? You know what I mean? Like I might as well go play fucking Nexomon. I might as well just go play fucking Pokemon. You know what I mean? Just something else, dog. It kind of don't. It kind of don't make sense how, we all jumped in almost head first with these brand new consoles, and if you have the Xbox, you can't sit here and tell me that is 10 miles away from what the Xbox One was to what you got now. It ain't that far away. Same goes with the PlayStation. So I'm trying to figure out why. First of all, why we all upgraded for $400-500, and why it's been 3 years and there hasn't been any high level games to come out beside that didn't have a ridiculous crash in between. Um, Elden Ring is pretty much the only thing I know. Elden Ring was somewhat glitchy when it first came out. I hadn't had any problems with glitches or still haven't to this day. But you know, I just been pretty confused on on our gaming thing. And where are we? I think the next thing I'm moving to is a PC. What should I be buying on PC? What should I be playing? I'm into RPG. Should I just be? I don't think I want to pay for subscriptions. Um, is the best game really fucking World of Warcraft? Like when I move on to PC, I'm gonna get this. I'm gonna get a laptop first of all. When I move on to PC, what should I be playing? What does everybody play? I really want to play an RPG. I have not ever played with mouse and keyboard before, so it'll be brand new for me getting into that. But I'm kind of more than willing to. So to kind of end this off, I want to speak out to the PC master race. What exactly should your boy be buying on PC? What are the games on PC? What do you play? I see a lot of things on Steam. I play a lot of small things on Steam. I usually play these good idle games. I need to get one back on my phone again, but it kind of fucking helps. Fucking, how about to say ACDC? Um, helps the anxiety when I get these idle games that I get to play and get to do something. So PC Master Race, what's going on? Thank y'all for listening. It's another episode. I still don't know what the episode number is, but holler.